All right, we're here with NCCU football head coach Trei Oliver. Coach, thank you so much for joining us once again, coming off a big victory over Morgan State on Thursday night. If you could, Coach, just go back and share your thoughts on that game on Thursday.
Yeah, it was a good game. And I thought that I was really pleased with our turnout with the crowd and the students. The fans were very engaged. And that's always good to be at home and have your home crowd support you, be behind you. But yeah, Thursday night, I thought when our guys came out, it was a different mood on the field in pregame. And I was a little concerned at first. I thought our guys were flat and weren't really locked in. But it was a different type of focus that I hadn't seen before. The guys were excited and eager. With that time off, they were chomping at the bit to get back out there. So we came out offensively. I thought we played well in the first half. Defensively, we had a miscommunication, gave up a touchdown on the first drive, but then they ended up getting it together. And then the kicking game, we did uncharacteristically give up a kickoff return for points. So we got to get that corrected. But overall, I was definitely pleased with the performance, and I thought our guys as a team played well overall.
Great. We'll open it up for questions. First questions from Shemai Cook. Go ahead, Shemai.
You guys stopped Morgan State's lead rusher, Alfonso Graham, on Thursday night. What was the game plan? Was the game plan just to stop him? You know, because they are a great running game in the MEAC running team. So how did you go into that game trying to stop him?
Well, I think Coach Cord and our defensive staff over there, those guys came up with a game plan and our players executed it. You know, we harped on it all week about how good that guy was and how it was so important for us to do our assignment, not do too much. And I think in the Campbell game a couple weeks back, guys were peeking out of their gaps and trying to do too much. This week right here, the guys believed in each other and they did their job. So we were sound. We were sound as far as our fits were concerned. Excuse me, but that was it, man. Just playing disciplined defense on the defense side of football. That was really it.
What was your main concern? You know, film. You know, even though it was a great win, what were besides the kickoff and the return? What was the other things that you had concerns about and things about that game?
Well, I thought we played well, and we played just about everybody that dressed out. So a lot of the young guys got a lot of quality reps. There wasn't anything that stood out. I thought we played consistent football, and that's kind of what we've been preaching around here. But offensively, I thought that we were very efficient. We were 11 and 17 on third down. And on the side, defensively, our defense held those guys to 2. They were 2 out of 10 on third down. We only had 4 penalties. So it was a lot of really good things that we took away from that football game.
Going into South Carolina State, what are you looking at?
It's about to be a knockdown, drag out. It's going to be 2 championship caliber teams going at it. And, you know, it's, again, another week, we're going to have to stop the run. And those guys are athletic and big up front. They have 2 really good running backs. They have a very good passing quarterback, then they have a very good running quarterback. So they have 2 guys back there that we'll have to come up with a game plan for. And then that guy, Shaq Davis, man, the receiver, number 1. He's incredible. So we've got to figure out a way to try to keep somebody over top and underneath him. And, you know, again, another week of trying to stop the run.
Our next question from Chris Clark. Go ahead, Chris.
That last game you played, obviously you like the win. You got the win, big win. Would you rather have seen them, I don't want to say work for it a little more, because once you get out in front and start blowing people out, they kind of get away from fine tunes and details. Would you have rather seen your team work for it a little bit more to get ready for this week with South Carolina State?
No, let's put them away early. I'd much rather go ahead and put them away in the first half, and then we kind of play some other guys down the line in the second half. Now, I will say I was pleased. We don't watch the scoreboard, whether we're up 50 or down 50. We don't clock watch. So I was pleased how we finished that game. Sometimes you can get real sloppy with snaps and penalties and all sorts of craziness. So I thought that I challenged the guys, let's work to start fast and get better every quarter. And I thought we did a good job of finishing that game, even with the youth movement that we had going on.
And I know you talked about the run game, switching gears to this week, taking on South Carolina State. They got a guy, Corey, can also put it up. Is it just the situations they've been in, having him forced to throw? Because it seems like they'd rather be a running team. Were you trying to? I'm assuming you're trying to make him one-dimensional and force them to throw to be the game plan this week.
Yeah, we got to try to make them one-dimensional. They had a tough schedule. So a couple of those games, they were down early. Then it seemed like they kind of tried to tweak their offense a little bit and go with more of a RPO, run pass option. And then, a couple games like they just wanted to focus on Shaq Davis and throw a lot of deep balls to him. So it's kind of been, I guess, the flavor of the month a little bit for those guys offensively. But I know for us defensively, it's going to come in with a mindset, but let's stop the run first and foremost. And then from there, we'll work to slow down their passing attack.
I was wondering, it's one thing to try to build to get to where you guys are, to get to, not the top, but, to get to the work to where you are on the top of the heap. How are those guys handling the success? Because it's a little bit different sometimes when you're trying to get there and when you're there.
No, I think our guys have done a really, I guess, decent job of handling all the success that we've had. But for us, we've only won one football game in the conference. So we have a long ways to go. So again, it's all about the message to those guys. Let's just continue to get better every week. Let's attack today. Let's have a great practice today.
All right. Our next question is from Lawrence Davis. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Coach, hopefully you're doing well today. I just wanted to give you a quick update before I lead into my question. Just I saw before the game, before you had a chance to walk into the tunnel to lead your team out, several players kind of checking each other, make sure, like, man, tuck your shirt in, man. Make sure, like, that's not us. That's not us. And so was discipline, a big focus for you guys heading into that Morgan State game?
Well, it's been a big focus since I've taken the job here. You have to stress daily. And for me, I don't like the shirt tails hanging out. And I tell them when we come out, I don't like to see the T-shirts hanging out. And if the folks in the NFL, the highest level of football, can be uniform, so can we. So it's a way that we're going to dress. It's a way that we're going to practice. It's a way that we're going to play. When we practice, we wear white socks. You don't wear black socks and pink socks and all these different colors. So that's just a little pet peeve of mine. And it's good when you hear guys checking each other about things in the program. That's when you're heading in the right direction.
And it's speaking of heading in the right direction, I know, you don't really want to look ahead, several games, but, with South Carolina State making it to the Celebration Bowl last year, is this game this weekend, the next step on raising the program to the next level?
We've got to win this game to have a chance, bottom line. And you don't want to get ahead of yourself. If you look last year, I think South Carolina State might have been 1-5 at this point, and ended up running the table. Mm-hmm. And then you look at Norfolk State on the other side, they were probably 6-1 and then lost 3 games in a row. So, everybody counted South Carolina State out and kind of crowned Norfolk State champions. And before you know it, that's what happens. So we're not going, obviously, we're going to stay in the moment. We're only concerned about South Carolina State, this trip to Orangeburg this weekend, and then we'll worry about everything else when that comes.
Gotcha. And then last question, I know you guys have faced some pretty solid teams when it's come to the run this year. Another solid team, coming up this week. How has, those previous games against, the A&Ts, the Campbells, the New Hampshires kind of help prepare your team to be, solid against the run game this weekend?
I think if they test you all, with everything, run game, pass game, and physicality. So we knew we had a tough schedule, non-conference schedule coming in. And, it can work one or two ways for you. You can either get beat up and come out of that thing 0-4, 0-5, or you can learn from it and get a couple of key wins to help kind of propel you throughout the rest of the season.
All right, next question's from Steve Wiseman. Welcome, Steve. Good to see you again. You can go ahead.
Thanks, Kyle. Good to be here. Hey, Trey. I want to follow up on a couple of things that my colleagues there, Chris and Lawrence, mentioned about the team handling success, internal leadership. How would you assess that on this team? Who's been important to you as far as players, like Lawrence said, checking each other for all kind of details?
I really think everybody. And when I say we have a good team and a good group of guys, man, I love my guys. And I think that, like I stress all the time, our team GPA is over 3.0. We have guys that are genuine guys that care about each other and that are good teammates. So, all the time we talk about being a good teammate. And that's somebody, when I'm a good friend, I can tell somebody when they're wrong. And so many times, especially in society nowadays, people see each other doing the wrong thing or doing things that's not what they're about, that's out of character, and they don't check them. So that's what, my coaches, we challenge our guys all the time. When you see your homeboy slipping up or about to go down the wrong path, say something to him, reel him back in. And it's been a team effort from the staff. Our strength and conditioning staff has done an outstanding job of stressing our culture here. But when you have a good group of people, it's easy to keep people, to keep folks together, heading in the right direction.
All right, our next question is from JB Ricks. Go ahead, JB.
Appreciate you, Kyle. Coach, good to see you as always. I just got one question for you in regards to the preparation this week. Do you think this will be the easiest week of the year as far as keeping your guys focused and how locked in they'll be because of the opportunity that they know they'll have in front of them? All that outside noise that you speak about, do you think it'll be really easy this week to cancel that out because of the next opponent that you have?
I don't think lack of focus has not been a problem with the guys. We kind of played down a little bit with Virginia Lynchburg, and I thought our guys are still relatively locked in there. So we haven't really had an issue with that. The thing is this week is, guys, we've got to work to get better in every segment, every period of practice. We can't go through practice and just try to survive practice and go through the periods. Let's attack each period and let's work to get better. Don't just go through the motions and just because we always practice every day at 4:15, we're out here at 4:15 and just go through the motions. No, let's work to get better. So they're excited, and we had a spirited practice yesterday, and I'm looking for another one tomorrow.
Got a follow-up from Chris Clark. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, just one here. National TV game, you get the exposure. Has it been easier getting recruits to call you back after not just being on TV, but putting one on Morgan State after what you guys did?
Yeah, it's crazy you asked that, man. My phone rang in the meeting. A team meeting, and I don't let my guys have phones. Their phones can't go off in the meeting. So my phone beeped, and I have a rule: if your phone goes off, I get to keep your phone for 24 hours. So my phone beeped, and the guys went crazy. So I had to give my work phone up for 24 hours. So I missed a few calls this weekend, I'm sure. But to answer your question, recruiting is going well. We had a lot of guys, come visit on an unofficial visit Thursday night. Now we just have to be real selective about the guys that we bring into the program, but recruiting is going well.
Coach, coming up after you is junior running back Mookie Collier, and had another 100-yard performance on Thursday night. If you could talk about Mookie and again, what he's meant to the program and the type of young man that he is.
The Mook man, Mookie, all he does is score touchdowns. But this is a guy that's humble and hungry. I'm sure he thought he probably should have played a lot more last year, but we had quite a bit of talented backs, but he never complained. He just always came to work, and he's a true blue-collar type guy. He came to my office, and we sat down and had a long talk in the preseason about his goals, and he had a chip on his shoulder, and he said he had a lot to prove to folks this year, and he wasn't going to do a whole lot of talking about it. He was just going to let his work show for himself. And, he's definitely had a great season thus far. And, when his number's called, he's going to get his pass down and he's going to run downhill.
Hey, Mookie, how are you today?
Good. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Great. Before we talk football, I've got to ask, where does the nickname Mookie come from?
I figured that you would ask. It's just been one of those things that, growing up, your mom gives you a name that she just, starts calling you. And that's how it just started. It started when I was young. She just started calling me Mookie. And then it's just been Mookie or Mook from there. So it just stuck with me, sir.
Yeah, and it's, kind of part of your legend now. It seems like when I looked at the roster that they had while you were at Marshall, they didn't even have Latrell listed. It was Mookie Collier, like it was your first name. Have you gotten kind of pretty used to that?
Yes, sir. Really not many people call me, Latrell. My mom, my brother and my dad, they're the only two that call me Latrell. Everybody else, calls me Mookie. Even my grandma, she's called me Mookie too. So it's just like that. Basically, Mookie is like my real name. People forget that Latrell is really even my real name.
And before we open up for questions, I want to ask you a question. As a native of West Virginia, it's kind of has a reputation as a blue collar state, right? And Coach just mentioned you're a blue collar type of guy. Do you think that is rooted in your being raised in West Virginia?
Yes, sir. People back home in West Virginia, you don't really see too many people have, the opportunity to be at this type of stage. And, just growing up, that's all it's just been, just hard work, staying humble and just getting the job done, whatever it is that you're doing, just keep working and staying humbled. And eventually, it's all going to pay off. So, that's what I kind of, have done and, just kept my faith and belief. My mom and my brother, had done a great job just, helping me out and just, keeping me motivated. So that being for West Virginia, then, also my family kind of had, played a big part in that, sir.
The first question is from Shemai Cook. Go ahead, Shemai.
Hey, Mookie, how you doing?
Great, I'm blessed. How you doing, sir?
Good. So listen, you guys have been really great at the run, and that comes from you in the offensive line. Can you talk about, your relationship behind the scenes with Robert Mitchell, with all the other offensive line, and how they help you perform with the performance that you have? You had over 100 yards rushing this game.
Yes, honestly, I give all credit to them. And when I first came into Central in 2019, that's when Robert Mitchell came in, Corey Bullock, those guys, they came in the following year, it was Torselli and Daquan Thomas. So we all, was close. And once, how people on the offensive side of the ball, everybody's close, but, they played a huge part in the success that I have had. Also the receivers, and also Pee Wee as well, because you got to watch out for him. He can run, he can do it all too. So, everybody kind of had played a part in the success that I have. And Coach Marius, he's done a great job with us, teaching us the fundamentals of things. And, with the line that we have, it makes my job pretty easy.
Do you and the other running backs have like a little competition to see who gets the most yards or who gets the most like touchdowns in the game or in the season?
You know what? It's crazy. We all are, brothers. We all want to see somebody, each of us succeed. And the great thing about this past game, a lot of people got an opportunity to play. And that made my night, being able to see, Chris Mosley, Josh Poole, and Arthur Rogers and Jamari, Taylor, all of us got an opportunity to play. And, all of us has, done a great job. It's everybody's success. So we're not, I guess you could say, we may be a little secret competition, but we all want to see each other do great things, sir.
What are you looking for in South Carolina State going into this Saturday this week?
I feel like it's gonna be a great game. I feel confident in what we've been doing, and we've been pretty consistent. Last year we lost to them. We could have won that game, but I honestly believe that things happen for a reason. We came back hungrier, and we don't it was a lot of freshmen that played last year that kind of been stepping up. So I have a great feeling about this game, and I can't wait, sir.
And our next question is from Lawrence Davis. Go ahead, Lawrence.
So, Mook, how are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I got a couple quick questions for you. You came in with some older running backs like Isaiah Totten and those guys. What did you learn from them, kind of being under them that kind of allowed you to succeed, this year and, the end of last year?
Just really staying focused. When I first came in, I know my role wasn't going to be, playing a lot, but it's going to be on special teams and getting some, reps on the back end of things, which I was, fine with that because, it's my first year here. Isaiah Totten was here, Jordan Freeman, Jamal Elliott was coming off injury. So I kind of knew my role, and they done a great job just helping me. And they still to this day, they'll hit me up and, tell me the things that I need to do or, just to keep going and stuff like that. So they done a great job just helping me become a mature back. And I want to thank them for the things that, they have helped me contribute to this team.
Kind of talk about the offensive line. What did you see from them this summer when they chose to they chose to stay instead of going home, and kind of what have you seen from them since this offseason that really made you kind of say like, wow, these boys aren't playing this year?
Really this summer, they was just big on, we got to be able to run the ball. And those guys did a great job this summer, putting in hard work. And last year, Torselli Simpkins was a true freshman. And I felt like, that played a little bit part of his, matureness coming into this year. And, we all been on the same page. And the thing is, we're versatile too. We got guys that can play center, guard, tackle, either tackles. And like I said, they've been doing a great job, working hard and believing. And like I said, they're the reason why I feel like, most of our success on offense have been, sir.
And then last question, I know South Carolina State, they have some pretty consistent linebackers. Your running back room has been pretty consistent this year. How exciting is it to go against, linebackers of that caliber, to kind of match up and see, who has the the better talent, essentially?
Honestly, I'm really excited, sir. Just because, like Coach Oliver said, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And last year, they was Black College national champions, and we have an opportunity to go down there and play them. And I feel like I like our chances this year, is because I know what our guys can do, and I have faith. And they got great, D-line, linebackers, and secondary. So I'm really looking forward to the test, and I know Coach Leone and the rest of the offensive staff going to put up a great game plan.
Okay, Chris Clark with CBS 17 here. I had just a quick question off the top. Playing South Carolina State last year, tougher playing them there or Fairmont Senior at Wheeling Island Stadium? Which one?
Oh man, that Fairmont Senior game was pretty crazy. I say they both was pretty tough. Last year, like Coach Oliver said, I didn't really get as many reps as I probably would like, but like I always say, things happen for a reason, and I feel like that kind of had fueled me going into this year, as far as going hard and using that to the fuel to the fire. And this year has been one of those years like I want to kind of make a a statement that I played my role for the years before, and now God had placed me in a position where I could kind of show all the for all my hard work just pay off, and I can't wait for the game, like I said, and South Carolina State is going to be a good one.
Always tough on the island, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
you're part of a rebuild as well there. Similarities in in your high school team as well as what they're doing here at Central. I mean, steadily, slowly progressing.
Yes, sir. So my junior year in high school, just like 2019 here, not everybody was on the same page with that, which is reflected in our record. And that following year, my senior year, we kind of had like a meeting, and we had to buy into the culture. We had to develop a culture, and people that had to buy in. And if you didn't want to buy in, God be with you. We didn't play in 2020, so that kind of had helped us. Had helped the younger guys. 2021 came around, and we had a positive season, but not the season that we kind of had wanted it, because we wasn't playing in Atlanta. But this year, this year, I feel like this culture is great. Everybody on the same page. Everybody wants the same thing. Whether somebody goes out there and has, 5 touchdowns, or they have no touchdowns, we all just want to, win the game and succeed. So
I was going to say everybody being healthy too definitely helps, especially with the offensive lineman being healthy in front of you. I know there was a problem last year. My final question is, building a winner and then dealing with the success, two different things. How is everybody kind of dealing with that success that they've been having? I asked Coach Oliver, he liked how you guys were focused in on him, not so much us. But how are your teammates dealing with winning a few games, getting a little bit of publicity?
Yes, sir. I think we all been doing a great job, like you said. We haven't been listening to the outside noise, and of course people around tell us how great we are and everything else, and not reading our own press clippings. Not too big-headed about the success that we have, because honestly, like Coach Oliver said, we're 1-0 in conference. We haven't really done too much, so it's really just staying focused. And Pee Wee does a great job as far as offensively, keeping us all focused and keeping us on the right track.
All right, our next question is from Steve Weissman. Go ahead, Steve.
Thanks, Kyle. Hey, Mookie. I want to ask you about kind of the way you guys police each other, I guess, internal leadership, holding each other accountable for even small things that kind of lead to a lot of success on the field. Can you kind of address that and how important that is to you guys?
Yes, sir. It's always Coach Oliver stressed to us, it's the little things, it's the little, it's the details. We out in practice, everybody wears white socks. You don't want to see, shirts hanging out, or like you said, one sock up, one sock down, because all that stuff matters. Stuff like that matters, how we do. And like Coach Cora always say, how we do some things is how we do all things. So we want to be, pretty consistent on all that, because all that, plays a part in how we're going to perform on Saturdays and Thursdays.
And what did it mean to you when Coach was telling that story about his phone going off in a team meeting, and that meant he's without the phone for 24 hours, that he not only talked the talk, but he walked the walk there?
Man, I mean, when I come into meetings, I turn my phone completely off, because I don't want my phone going off and he taking my phone for 24 hours. But that's another thing. When we come into meetings, the years before, we had to tell everybody, turn your phone off and do that. But the leadership has been great this year. It's like when we come into meetings, nobody's phone really goes off because they already, the expectations, we already know, turn your phones off, and we turn it off 5 minutes before the meeting. So when he come in here, he can get straight to the meeting and keep going, sir.
Mookie, I want to ask you about playing on national TV on Thursday night. Again, you had an outstanding performance. Did you hear from a lot of people, and what does that mean for you and for your teammates to be able to play in that national spotlight?
Honestly, it's a blessing, sir. And we was thankful for the opportunity to be able to play on, national television. We got some players on the teams that, family couldn't have made it since it's a Thursday, night game. So people had to work, especially, my mom, she wasn't able to come. So I'm glad that we, played on national television for her to watch it along with my nephew and my brother. But that's great. Pee Wee had a great game, that game. And, hopefully, that opens up a lot of people's eyes and doors for him at the next level whenever, that time is to come. But like I say, it was a great opportunity for us. And we hit the ground and we kept running and we kept going. A lot of people got a lot of opportunity to play. Parents was able to see them.
And I've got one more question. Chris alluded to the senior year that you had, team state championship, you were state player of the year. How did you end up at NCCU? Can you just talk about that path and that journey and how you became an Eagle?
Yes, sir. A lot of people probably don't know, but, coming out of high school, I didn't really have too many opportunities. I had, a lot of D2 schools, but how, growing up, you always wanted to play at the Division I level. That's always been the dream. And yeah, I go to say there's nothing wrong, with playing at the D2 level. But then I ended up walking on at Marshall University, 2018, 2019, I ended up transferring, and I'm in the transfer portal. And Coach Teasley hit me up. Somebody that I know, Mr. Duck Riley. And I knew Coach Greenwood as well when he was at Dell State. So when I was coming here, on recruiting, I just felt like this place was at, home. I felt like everybody wanted the same thing. This was family, and they cared more about you, than on the field. They care about you off the field. And I felt like this was a great decision. Like I said, when I first got here, I knew that God had placed me on this campus for a reason. And it's been a blessing, being here. And I appreciate Coach Oliver and the staff before and the staff now for giving me this opportunity to play here at this amazing university, sir.
And what's been your favorite part about being an NCCU Eagle?
Honestly, just meeting the people. It's just great, genuine people here. It brought me a lot of friendships that not only it's just going to be, with football, even after football. Like Pee Wee, I talk to him every day. I was honestly talking to him before I got in here. That's my best friend, Corey Bullock, the running backs. We all just, it brought in great relationships. And I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful for those guys.